Mine will be on 58. And if you know this, the price of 50 in medical school, you know is a hallowed tip. So, you know when most of them have buffered their scores with their cumulative. Some of them are on 28, 30, over 40 CGPA. When it's time for MBA, they can just sleep and they know that it's just 20 they need to make the pass mark. Some of us, our CGPA will be on 22 over 40. So you know you need to read. Sometimes you read, and then the Lord will say it's average. Have you ever been there? I have to be supplying more time. But we read this thing. And many times I'll go to chapel room. It is time to read and then Holy Ghost to pray. So I will have to pray all through and ensure that I will not fail to meet the mark of my reading requirement. So after I finish praying, I will start reading my book. That was how I was able to escape. But I didn't know that the crucible of that cross was to ensure that I was conformed to a creature of prayer. My infirmity was laid bare before me. So every time, even if the best of the exams that I before me, so every time, even if the best of the exams that I wrote, I had to lace it with prayer. I'm in year one. My CGPA was so loud, and I wrote some scholarship during the first year. And all the best of scholarship I wrote, I didn't get anyone. So when it was time and I entered year 2, I asked the Lord, I wrote one before, it didn't show up. I wrote this one, and I wrote about 4. None of them came. My friend got about 3. So when I entered year 2, there was just 2 windows left. And I missed out on one window. And the last window I didn't want to go. I didn't read for that one. And meanwhile, when the exam it was a CBT test, my computer even off halfway, so I didn't want to attend most of the questions. Guess what? That was the scholarship I eventually got. When I came back, I said, last, all of us cannot have scholarship. I relegated and said that scholarship, I won't get it. Guess what? That one was what? The one I knew. That thing was laced with prayer. And God wanted to see that level of infirmity with my heart, because the posture of pride was so loud. Many times you come to the place of prayer with your pride, with your arrogance. You lace it. And because of the fact that you can pray and bend, one of the signs that you have received an outpouring is the fact that God begins to announce your name. You will see that Jesus, when he went to the wilderness, one of the allotments was the fact that after he had fasted and prayed for 40 days and 40 nights, after he had fasted and prayed for 40 days and 40 nights, no one knew when the tempter came, but alas, the tempter was drawn to someone that had given himself to pray and fast. So it was after he had conquered that wilderness experience that the Bible recorded that his fame grew and spread abroad. People began to hear of him. People do not just emerge suddenly. There is an emergence. There is a cunning artificial. The eloquent orator. The artificial. The eloquent orator. The captain of 50. We can't do this. This thing is a large